Johnson. I'm joined by Alan Hynek. Ricardo Magni has basketball games again today with his kids, so we're going to do the show without him, and he should be back with us next week. Like I said, this is episode 46 of This Week in Grip. If you didn't get a chance yet, guys, go back and listen to episode 45, where all three of us covered the California's Strongest Hands competition that went down on February 24th. That's episode 45. Today, we're going to be covering two other competitions that took place that very same day on the 24th of February, the 2018 Canadian National Grip Sport Championships, and 4 for February. But before that, a few important things. First off, please give the video a like. If you enjoy hearing people talk about grip sport, and if you like competing or just doing grip training and feats of strength, then I hope you'll take the time to like the video. Likes are an indicator of the popularity of the video, and when a video's likes equals 10% or more of the video's views, it helps the visibility of that video, so I'm told. So by hitting the like button, you're helping the video be promoted and the sport of grip as well. We hit the 10% plus goal of likes to views the last 2 weeks, so I want to thank everybody for that who took their time and did just that, hit like on the video. Also, currently, I'm sitting at 8,871 subscribers on the YouTube channel. I invite all of you to subscribe to the channel, not only for This Week in Grip, but also for the other videos I put out. So I welcome you aboard if you're a subscriber recently. And if you're not yet, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Also, I announced last week that we have our first sponsor, Muscle Farm, MUSCLEPHARM, and they have committed to sending out free supplements each week in a drawing. So thank you very much, Muscle Farm, for your support. And here's how you can take part in the drawing, guys. Basically, it's 2 steps. You need to like and comment on this video here on YouTube. Now, it's got to be on YouTube itself, not on Facebook where we post it or on my website, dieselcrew.com. You gotta like the video and comment here on YouTube. You also need to follow and comment on the post for this specific show, episode 46, on the Grip Sport Instagram. And to pull that up right quick, if you look for it, look for
Grip Sport IG. Grip Sport and the letters IG.
Follow and comment there on the episode 46 post, which will go up in just, as soon as this episode is live. Now, Muscle Farm has told me that right now the shipping cost on international orders is prohibitive, so the winner has to be U.S.-based for this drawing, but I will do this. If an international listener is chosen in the drawing, then I will send them a free copy of one of my DVDs instead. All right? So I'm going to step up to that as well. So please, if you are an international listener, please take part in this drawing and help us spread the word. Speaking of that, Alan, I looked at Instagram this morning. I searched the hashtag This Week in Grip, and yes. I saw, dude, that we are over 1,000 posts, brother.
Yep, 1,015 is what I just saw. So, yep, It's climbing quick.
Dude,
yep.
That's a big jump. We were at 968 or something like that last week or 2 weeks ago. So, I mean, that's a really big jump. I saw that. I want to get the user right.
Well, one of our star contributors is getting back into action. James Rodriguez looks like he's found a couple of workarounds. So welcome back, James.
That's right, and I actually have a note on that to talk about that. I thought that stuff was really, really good that I saw him doing. Just today, I saw that he posted up some videos of him training thick bar, and he's able to do it with his injured leg, like supported on a bench, so that there's no force going into that hip that he's injured.
Yes, that is really inspirational. Needs like a no excuses hashtag. Yeah, that's That's good. We'll get to more of that in a minute. But yeah, I like seeing people working around some injuries and able to get back in action.
Right. Well, and I remember talking to Ches about stuff like that back when his ankle was real bad. He had that condition with his ankle that he needed surgery on, and I was like, man, I wonder if you could do axle with your knee on a chair or something like that, and if we could count it in competition, because I just wanted to see him in competitions. You know what I mean? And because I knew his hands were strong as hell at the time when he was going through that. So it's cool to see James trying that stuff out. And the other thing, I'd say like the league leader recently in This Week in Grip hashtag posts is Dolly.Zang. I'm not sure exactly how you pronounce his name there, but that's his account, Dolly.Zang, DALI.ZHENG. And he, like, the whole top portion of the This Week in Grip search results are him, and there's one there of Tanner Merkel, who I heard just injured one of his pulleys and one of his hands on a climbing test this weekend. So sorry to hear that, and thoughts going out to you, buddy, and hope you have a strong recovery. Let's see here. Yeah, so everybody's using the hashtag really well. We're going to touch on a couple feats here, and like I said, I hope that we can get back into covering some of the great feats that are going down. But please, everybody, remember the first rule of grip sport. The first rule of grip sport is so important, guys. The first rule of grip sport is you tell everyone about grip sport. Like I said, Alan, we were going to cover those other two contests, but I understand that you have some news to share with everyone about some of your own injuries. So why don't you tell us what you got going on there, buddy?
Well, yeah. So it was a couple episodes back. I mentioned that I got my first ever cortisone injections in my right shoulder, and they were kind of for diagnostic purposes. My shoulder had been bugging me off and on for maybe about a year or so now. And anyway, the cortisone shots, they had no effect. I didn't expect them to. So I went in and had an MRI, and I was expecting, just based on my Google skills, to come back with them telling me I had a slap tear, and then some bicep tendinopathy that would go along with it. And they came back and concluded that I do indeed have a slap tear and also a torn long biceps tendon in conjunction with some osteoarthritis of my AC joint. I've torn my supraspinatus tendon and also my subscapularis tendon. So I've got a whole bunch of crap going on in my right shoulder right now.
Now,
so
when you say tears, Alan, are these tissues completely like severed, or to what degree are these tears?
No, they're what they call high grade tears. So they're greater than 50%. So I've got something still connected, but it's more than 50% of it is torn. So if these things were like an inch wide, I've got like less than a half an inch of material left.
Wow.
And it's to the point where I'm not experiencing a bunch of weakness. It's more or less an insane amount of pain, particularly in my right bicep upper area, where I would equate to it kind of tying in, is where I'm experiencing the bulk of it.
Right.
So that was the main symptomatic thing for me.
Mm-hmm.
So it the ways that it's affected me immediately. I've actually and this was one of the things that kind of baffled them a little bit, but I'm able to overhead press without pain. As a matter of fact, I'm able to put weight on that lift even. I can do things like chin-ups and stuff like that, push-ups. Bench press absolutely destroys my shoulder, though. I can't even bench the bar. I can't do any bicep curls, simple things like that. So, but otherwise, you wouldn't really know it was an issue. A lot of their functional tests don't even conclude that my rotator cuff is messed up.
What, the battery of stuff they put you through to see what's going on aren't registering like pain for you?
They do give pain, but it's almost like the things that they would do that they would expect to cause an issue don't, and then opposite wise. It was almost like, and it explained it because they were thinking that I kind of had more or less one issue going on, not several. So that's what the confusing part was. When you're chasing 5 things, but you only think you're going after one, that's what kind of screwed stuff up. So, and then to make matters even better, and this is my favorite part, so because things like push-ups and pull-ups actually bring a lot of relief to my shoulder, and they were a good way of actually trying to get in, pull-ups specifically, getting in a little bit of arm work because I'm not able to do much. I've been doing just a ton of those things lately, to the point where I've now given myself golfer's elbow in my left arm. So I'm kind of like, I'm screwed across the boards at the moment. So there's not a whole lot I'm able to do.
Darn.
But so yeah, hopefully I'll bounce back pretty soon. The elbow issue is improving. A lot of the pain is gone, and I can still do most grip type stuff with my right arm. I can't lift anything real heavy though, because I feel a lot of pain in my arm.
Yeah.
But grippers, block weights, hub, normal things like that I can, but no like crusher work or anything right now, or axle, So limited, but still able to kind of keep things at least where I was, fighting for it anyway. So,
Alan, 2 questions, man. Do you know, can you point to a single day, a single workout set or repetition where the injuries took place? And the other one would be, are you gonna schedule surgery, and when would that end up being?
Yeah, so there was definitely a thunderclap moment for this. So I think through the years my shoulders have never been great. I've always been slightly internally rotated at some things that I've been working on, and I've had some nuisance things bug me here and there, but mostly on my left side. So anyway. The day the injury happened, I follow Wendler's 5-3-1 program. I've always had really good luck with that. And I was doing overhead press one day. It was the last week. It was literally the 5-3-1 week. I hit a weight I'd never hit before, and I hit it for more reps than I'd hit on lesser weights. So it was one of those epic sessions. Because I'm getting to be an older guy, I try not to push things and overextend things anymore. So I kind of called the pressing session at that, and then I just moved on to a little accessory work. I was literally doing some just tricep dips, and I set up, and literally first rep on the lowering phase, I felt something suddenly shift in my right shoulder, and it almost felt to me like something rolled out of a track, if you will. Which I now know was most likely my biceps tendon rolling out of the bicipital groove. But I felt that, and then all of a sudden it was like the strength of my arm kind of went to 50%. I couldn't even lift myself up. I kind of had to just, drop to the ground basically. And then that was that. My shoulder hurt like hell ever since. I did some rest. I did some heat, some icing, things like that. The pain seemed to be better after about a week. So one day I laid down and I thought I'd just try to see if what exactly I could do. I didn't want to push anything.
Right.
And so I actually tried to do some bench press. I was literally just doing the bar. I set up for it, and the action of setting up and just initiating lowering and just the empty bar brought upon all the symptoms.
Wow.
So I scrapped it and saw some physical therapy. I did that for a couple of months. They never had any improvement, though some of the exercises they gave me to do actually made things feel better, but the pain was still there in the end.
Right.
Then came the shots, and now this. So the plan moving forward is to have a surgery, because I'm told that these things aren't going to heal on their own. So how it looks, because I'm 40, which in doctor terms means I'm old, some things to them really aren't worth fixing. So it's looking like they probably won't do anything as of now with regards to the labrum, but I'll find out more specifically about that. But the idea is that they would go in, sever my long biceps tendon and reattach it at a different point on the humerus, and then continue that approach with the other tendons. Those would just be severed and then reattached in place using different procedures. And then it sounds like they'd get in as far as my AC joint and some other things, kind of clean up some areas, sort of lop off the end of like my acromion. So when I do bring my arm up, I don't hammer it into things. Well, because we're just that built right in general. to be lifting things overhead.
Right.
So they're going to kind of do some stuff so that way I could theoretically do that, even though they tell me I should never do it again. So yeah, at some point I'll be having some surgery. I find out the specifics when I go in another week, and then hopefully we get it scheduled sooner rather than later. I just assume, move on with my life rather than just have this linger forever. It's screwed all my plans up in the meantime. I mean, kickboxing just ended it all. In just one moment, it disappeared for me. So
that sucks, man. I'm sorry to hear all that.
It's not the best news, I mean, for a guy that I love doing all of this stuff.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden to not be able to do it, it's not like this. None of this was a burden for me. It wasn't. I look forward to going to the gym. I'm not the person that says, "Oh, geez, it's Tuesday now, I got to go." It was like, I can't wait for that day to get here so I get to go again. And so everything kind of suddenly became uncertain. But my plans haven't changed. I've already found some workarounds. I've made some provisions. I'm kind of assuming for the worst, so I'm getting some things set up. So I'll be able to do at least what I can with my one semi-functioning arm, and be moving back. But it didn't change anything in terms of my goals. Nonetheless, I still would like to get the baby inch lifted this year, get the blob lifted. Those were all left arm things anyway. I'm right-handed, but that just has never, historically speaking, cooperated and gripped quite like my left has. Right. So at least I've got that much going for me right now.
Well, I wonder if it's didn't you have TOS maybe 2 years ago, or the thoracic outlet syndrome?
Yes.
What arm was that on?
That was on my left arm, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
And then I wound up also picking it up on the right, and it was just a matter of corrective stretching to get those things straightened out for the most part. Though once in a while I do still get some phantom numbness. And like my left side in particular, but my thumb. But I just keep following through with the stretching and stuff. It's more or less when I sit down, I get kind of bunched up for periods of time, where it's like my shoulders get kind of shoved in. That's when it tends to flare those things up.
Right.
But otherwise, if I can stand and have proper posture, the issues don't exist.
I hear you. Okay.
It's, sitting in general, it's the worst things we can do for ourselves. There's no benefit to that.
Yeah.
Yep, and you don't even think about it until you're older and the damage is done.
Yeah, I hear you, man. Well, good luck with all that, Alan, and I hope it comes around, really quickly once you get the corrective surgery.
Yeah, me too.
Cool. I just want to give one quick shout-out real quick to Jerome Bloom, who was injured for the longest time, had surgery, and then he's just coming back full force. He's putting up videos seemingly every day of new PRs on some of the key pinching lifts and the hub lifts and things like that. It's pretty incredible to watch. So Jerome, keep up the work there. And then also Big Gus. Remember Gus from the SG4 competition? Came down with the Canadian group.
Yep.
Yeah, he's 69 years old and just lifted the Blob 50 here this
I saw that. And that looked like he'd been lifting it all his life. He didn't struggle with that.
Yeah.
He just put his hand on it and picked it up like it was like he had a magnet on the other side of his palm or something. It was effortless. So, good for him. He's lifting a lot of things the guys a third his age aren't lifting.
Yep, for sure.
So, yep, strong dude. You should keep at it.
Yeah. Speaking of Canadian dudes, I talked with Eric Rusin this week talking about Grip Sport National Championships, the NAGS Championship that's going to be going on in June. And I sent out a video to a bunch of people considering or covering some thoughts on event changes. I wanted to get with people who were thinking about going. So if anybody is planning on going to the NAGS Championship this year, I'd like to get your thoughts on something. I shot a video. It's already uploaded. I'd like to send you the link, and I welcome the feedback. So please hit me up. And I know Gus is one of those guys who's interested. So that would be cool to see him come. It should really be a good contest this year. Internationally speaking, there are a lot of people that are interested in coming down from Canada. So it's going to be pretty cool. Also, along the lines of Canada, Alan, why don't we jump on the 2018 Canadian Grip Sport Championships. What do you say?
All right. That sounds good.
So, like we said, this took place on the 24th of February in Ottawa, Canada. Do you have the results there in front of you, Big Alan?
Yeah, I'm waiting for him to load up right now. I just clicked on it. It's just taking a second for some reason.
Yeah. So, just go over the weight classes. And let's see, there was a men's 83 kilo class, a men's 105 kilo class, and a men's 105 plus kilo class. Then he did a women's open class and men's 50 plus class. So pretty good mix of people there. And we see that, well, I'll just give you the end results first, and then we'll go down the event totals. The men's 83 finished this way: Dan Fleming in first place, Matthew Charbonneau in second, Philippe Tremblay in third, and then Matt Smith in fourth. The 105 kilo finished out Eric Rusin in first, Rob McMurrin in second, Mark Lucina in third, Andrew Dube in fourth, Keith Stephenson in fifth, and Colin Doré in sixth. The men's 105 plus, Justin Major in first, Nick Carignan in second, and Gus Bush in third. Women's open was Julie Lalonde in first and Natasha Batt in second. And then in the 50 plus, it was Gus Bush in first. That's the guy we were just talking about with the blob lift, and Keith Stephenson in second. In the overall standings, it fell like so: Eric Rusin in first place, Dan Fleming in second, Justin Major in third, Nick Carignan in fourth, Rob McMurrin in fifth, Mark Lucina in sixth, Andrew Dube in seventh, Gus Bush in eighth, Matthew Charbonneau in ninth, Keith Stephenson 10th, 11th was Philippe Tremblay. How's my French pronunciations there, Alan? You speak French, right?
Yeah, right. It sounds, I think you're saying it about the same way I would say it.
Okay, good. And then I just see on the other page, 12th place Colin Doré and Matt Smith in 13th. I think I'm good on that pronunciation, Matt Smith. I think I got that one proper.
That should be solid, yep.
Cool. So what events did we have there, Alan?
All right, so it looks like the first event, at least as shown on here, was the Saxon Bar. They had the shallow hub, a bearing lift, which I'm not familiar with the bearing lift. Is that one of Andrew Dube's creations?
Yes, I believe so. I believe that's the one where it's on the cube, and
okay.
And on one face of the cube is a bearing.
Okay, all right.
And a bearing being like a small sphere.
Okay, I think I might have messed around with that thing at SJ4 actually.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I think we all did. It was I remember my fingers being like they were inflamed to the point where I thought they might catch fire on a piece of paper if I held anything.
Sure. Yeah, I remember actually trying to take a lift on it. I don't even think I got it off the ground, whatever weight was on it. Mm-hmm. So, looks like the third was we have a wrist wrench, a dynamometer, little bighorn, tips tester, and then the 30-item medley. So he has quite a few events.
Man. Lots of events. Yeah.
Yeah, yep. So let's see here. Going down the list, so it looks like Saxon Bar, first place was Justin Major, 223.9 pounds. It doesn't say the width of this Saxon Bar. I don't know if this is the standard one, if he's using the 3-inch. I would imagine that was the size.
It kind of looked like the 3-inch when I saw like a video. I'm wondering if maybe it was 3-inch, which is kind of a thick pinch.
That is a thick pinch, yeah. Yep. All right.
But Eric came in second there with a 212. That's pretty. I think that's right around what he usually pinches, isn't it? Maybe a little low, but not too much, right?
I'm not sure. I guess I never followed Eric's pinch numbers so much as I did his thick bar numbers, just because they're always so huge. I never associated him much with pinch and gripper. I know he's strong all around, but I was just always mesmerized by the thick bar lifts, so it's all I really focused on.
Oh yeah, so, he's definitely good at the thick bar.
And Dan Fleming had a nice lift, 190.83. Boy, he stays real consistent in his placing at all of these contests. He is always right in the top few.
Yeah, for sure. Which is important. It really is.
Yep. Nick Carrigan was 179.81. He tied for fourth with Rob McMurrin for another 179.81. Then Big Gus in sixth place with 168.78 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
Andrew Dube and Mark Lucina were tied for seventh with 157.76. Oh, and these other names, boy, I think you probably did a better job than me. What would you go with?
I think it's Matthew Charbonneau.
Charbonneau, that sounds good. I'm going to go with that from here on out.
We'll just run with that one.
Matthew Charbonneau with 146.74. That was ninth place. Keith Stephenson, 135.72 for 10th. We had a three-way tie for 11th place of Colin Dorr, Smith, and Philippe Tremblay of 124.69. And then 14th was Natasha Batt, and 15th was Julie Lalonde. He had 80.6 pounds and 69.58 pounds, respectively.
Now, I will say that Philippe Tremblay came to the NAGS Championship one year. I believe it was 2014.
Yeah, he's an 83-kilogram competitor, isn't he? Or at least he was then? Okay.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right.
Yeah, Eric's brought, a couple years there, he brought other people with him, and it was when they were very new. So they didn't have the strategy and things like that for the lifts. So you kind of feel bad for them. It's kind of an uphill battle when you're not familiar with the lifts. But it's good to see those guys still going at it and putting up decent numbers in grip sport for sure. It's been a few years now, so hopefully see them again sometime.
Yeah. Yep. So the next event they have lifted was the shallow hub, and this one I at least have some familiarity with, so I can appreciate these numbers just a little bit better. But
right.
So it's a three-way tie for first here. Gus Bush, Nick Carrigan, and Eric Rusin all hit 48.39 pounds. That's a decent lift on the shallow hub. I imagine that's the World of Grip shallow hub, and not the Dub hub. Dan Fleming in fourth place with 45.08 pounds. That was actually a three-way tie
there.
Him and, Mark Lucina and Rob McMurrin, so 45.08 pounds each there.
Now, let me ask you something, Alan. I was going to say this earlier and forgot. Mark Lucina, do you know that name?
It sounds really familiar, but I can't put where I know it from, but it sounds real familiar.
I think I interviewed him once for the Grip Authority back in the day when I believe it was Darren Shulman asked if I had any knowledge on arm wrestling, and I didn't. So I went to I think I might have gone to Devin Larat first, and he couldn't commit to it. Then I talked with Eric, and he said, you should talk to Mark Lucina, I think it was Mark Lucina that I ended up interviewing about that. I know it was a Mark. I know the first name was Mark. I want to say it was Mark Lucina. But
that could be. We had talked about, I believe it was the Canadian Nationals before, or maybe it was just another one of Eric's contests up there.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember being really impressed by some of the wrist wrench numbers and some of the thick bar numbers we were seeing from some of these guys. I think James Radoritas chimed in about a couple of those guys being some top level arm wrestlers from Canada. I don't remember which ones they were. It's possible it was Mark Lucina. But it just sounded like, and this would fit obviously with Eric Rusin's, pedigree in arm wrestling, that, he would have a few of those guys there. So, but that could probably be the case.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'll
have to look that up. Go ahead, buddy. Sorry to interrupt you.
No, that's all right. So, let's see, where was I here? So in seventh place was Andrew Dube, 41.78 pounds. That was actually another tie with Keith Stephenson, also at 41.78. Justin Major got ninth at 38.47. Matthew Charbonneau in 10th with 35.16. That was a three-way tie. I got to look ahead a little bit here. That was with Colin Dorr and Philippe Tremblay. Matt Smith was in 13th with 31.86. And Julie Lalonde and Natasha Batt tied for 14th at 21.94 pounds.
So what do you think of when you see all those ties? Just curious. What do you think of? What's the first thing that comes to mind?
Well, it looks to me like when I see the ties, the people pulled it, but then just didn't make an attempt after that. Like they missed the second one because of some jump.
But yeah, the jump. That's what I was wondering. What the jumps were. That's exactly.
Yeah, because
I'm wondering if maybe it was like a 2.5 kilo minimum jump or something like that.
Right, and that's, well, boy, I tell you, when you're talking about the shallow hub, a pound might as well be a ton, because some of those things, it's ounces that separate a lift from a not a lift.
Right, for sure. Yeah, so 2.5 kilo doesn't make any sense. I don't think there's any chance there's a 2.5 kilo jump. I take that back.
It looked like a 1.25 kilo might not have been too far off though, based on the, what we're talking, nearly three, something close, few pounds. So it was probably whatever variance was in his plates or something like that would explain that next jump up.
Yeah, it almost looks like 3.5 pounds every time or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
31 to 35, 35 to 38, 38 to 41. Yeah, 3.3 almost.
All right, so it looks like third event, we had the bearing lift. Now, like I said, This is one event that doesn't mean a whole lot to me, because I've the only time I tried it, I never lifted it, and I don't even actually know what was loaded on the device.
Well, I think all right. My shoddy memory, admittedly shoddy. I want to say that we had 2 10s on there, and then we threw a third one on there with like no jump, no. It was a huge jump, 10 pounds, and it didn't come anywhere close to coming off the ground. I think Gil might have gotten it, but I know I didn't. That's kind of how I remember it. So that would be pretty consistent with the results that we're seeing at the top, because I'm sure the unit itself probably weighed a few pounds, maybe 5 pounds, and so 2 10s on top of that would have been 25, throw another 10, 35, and everybody was in between there pretty much. Sure.
Yep. Yeah, it looks like Mark Lucina took first on that one, 33.16. Nick Kerrigan and Eric Rusin tied at second with 30.95. Dan Fleming in fourth at 28.75. Boy, does he ever stay. Like I said, he's always real consistent. He works a lot of these other lifts too. I know he spends a lot of time with like the Gold Bar and things like that. Seeing him lift a lot of things with different varieties, so that seems to be keeping him real sharp on this stuff. Let's see here. 2-way tie for fifth between Colin Dora and Andrew Dube at 26.54 pounds. 2-way tie at seventh with Matthew Charbonneau and Rob McMurrin at 24.34. Gus came in ninth with 22.13. Justin Major in 10th, 19.93 pounds. 2-way tie at 11th between Matt Smith and Keith Stephenson at 17.72. Philippe Tremblay at 13th place with 15.52 pounds, and Natasha Batt and Julie Lalonde at 11.11 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm just looking back at some of these. Yeah, boy, you look at these events at a kind of individually and compare them to one another. This just shows you how specificity really plays in. You see some of these guys pulling monstrous things on some fatter pinch and thick bar, and then it comes to these thinner ones, and all of a sudden it's just not quite there for them.
Yeah, yeah. But then the other guys that I see what you're saying, the other guys that have trained with those implements, you can see that they're in like first, second, or third every single time.
Yep.
Yeah.
So now here's a nice one. Here was some really solid lifts from these guys, and wrist wrench. So first place, Justin Majors came in with 127.29 pounds. That's a beastly lift on a wrist wrench.
Yes, and just not taking anything away from the lift, but it was a 6-inch lift. So I think the numbers are a little bit higher than normal. But I mean, dude, I would say maybe within the last month, on a whim, I decided to see what I could get, and it was all I could do to get 108. It was all I could do, 107 or 108. That's where I ended up on. I expected to be much higher with all the thick bar work that I've done, but I guess the point that I'm making here is wrist wrench is so much different from the other thick bar implements with the way that the implement acts as you lift it, and how your hand gets pulled into like an extension position. At least mine does. I love using it. I don't like the original wrist wrench because I can't get any chalk to stick to it. Like right where my thumb goes. So when I'm lifting it with my left hand and when I'm lifting it with my right hand, my thumb goes in a different spot each time. And you can see in both of those positions, it's like black. Everywhere else on the device, it's like gray from the mixture of the black handle and white chalk. But then where my thumb goes, where I need the most traction, it's straight black. So
sure,
that's frustrating. It's a very cool implement, and honestly, the wrist wrench was not designed for what we're using it for in grip sport. It was used for other drills to actually bring up wrist strength. But I did expect to be quite a bit higher than what I got, and 107, 108 wasn't where I wanted to be. But there's no way I was going to ever pull 127 6 inches. I mean, come on, that's huge. I don't even know if I break off the ground.
Yep. I played around with the wrist wrench recently. I actually quite like it, though I haven't seen a lot of carryover to the other things like I'd hoped. But the one thing I notice is that I always tend to get a lot of arm flex when I use that. Like I bring a lot of bicep into it.
Right.
And so that's just, out for me right now. But that's my thing. And then also, like you said, and I really noticed and this was really exaggerated on Luke Raymond one time, the way he did it, but he seems to lift those things in almost like a heavily gooseneck position. I watched him pull a lot on the wrist wrench, and he went from like a hard flexion to very extended, and that looks like that would just be really, really uncomfortable to me. So now Luke's got some strong arms and strong hands, so he can obviously tolerate that a little better, especially with the arm wrestling he's been working on. But you just see that violent, stretch under contraction like that. That doesn't look good.
Yeah, it's pretty ugly on video, but yeah, it's cool device, really cool.
Yep. So Dan Fleming tied for second with Eric Roussan at 111.86.
Yeah.
So yeah, big numbers there. Rob McMurrin and Matt Smith for fourth at 100.84 pounds. So a lot of lifts way up there. Mark Lacina at sixth, 95.33. Gus Bush and Andrew Dube in seventh with 89.82. Nick Kerrigan in ninth at 84.3. Let's see here, two-way tie for 10th between Matthew Charbonneau and Keith Stephenson at 78.79 pounds. Philippe Tremblay in 12th with 73.28. Colin Dorr at 13th with 67.77 pounds. And Natasha Batt at 51.23 and Julie Lalonde at 45.72. So those are actually, I think those are pretty solid numbers for the women competitors.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Yep. And then a dynamometer. That's an interesting event.
Do you have any dynamometers at your place, Alan?
No, I don't. I've only ever used those at like the hospital actually when I've screwed up, cut my hands and stuff through the years, and that's been about it. So and I don't even know what the numbers were. Nothing like this though.
No. Not Dan. Batter has an assortment of dynamometers or other pressure gauges. I don't know if they'd all count as dynamometers, but anyway, we had some fun squeezing those. I haven't put those videos up online yet from the Dubai trip, but they were pretty cool. It was interesting. The different models would kick out different results and things like that. But he's got a couple pretty rare ones too. So, and I can't remember what we got, but these all look like pretty darn good numbers, man. We don't see as many guys here with the dynamometer squeeze, though.
No, that would definitely separate things. That's one perk to that, and this is like the crane scale theory that you'd played around with on some of your lifts, like when you go to some of those some of those shows you go to where you have those challenges here and there. This is what allows for a lot of individuality. Mm-hmm. So Dan Fleming at first with 234 pounds. I wonder how they contested this. If they did this in the seated bent arm position, or if this is something where you just get to kind of stand. And I didn't catch the video of how exactly they were contesting that.
No, I didn't see it either. I know that when they correct, tell me what you saw, but when I was tested on this in, the therapy arena, I stood with it and had the bent arm, and I was not allowed to force it all over the place or anything like that. I had to try to keep it strict.
Yeah, and I remember it being seated, but I think that was just more happenstance than anything. I don't know that was a requirement. But mine was a bent arm, but there was no there was no positioning or anything like that. It was just kind of just a hard squeeze, which was a very awkward thing because you're squeezing something, but you can't detect that it's actually moving, as I remembered it anyway.
I wonder if Dan Fleming did some sabotage on this, because I see that he came out at 234 and Rusin only 206. So I'm wondering if maybe he mixed up some slime or something, got on some YouTube channels, seen how to mix up some slime out of super glue and hairspray or whatever that stuff is. My daughter knows how to do it. I wonder if he got some of that goop on the dyno before Eric went.
It could be. He's kind of shifty like that.
Yeah.
Well.
Probably snuck it in on the bottom of his skateboard when he came in and greased it up before Eric took a squeeze.
Yep. That reminds me, not to get off topic, but did you see Big Eric doing his 40-yard sprint the other day on Instagram by chance?
I saw some sprinting. I don't know how far it was, but he looked like he was doing pretty good.
Seeing a big dude flying that fast, man, that's just ridiculous. It's like Brock Lesnar. Doesn't he run like a 4.240 or something?
He's pretty impressive, yeah. Did you see the combine numbers from that guy from Penn State?
No, I didn't.
Well, the numbers don't mean a lot to me, and I have no idea who the guys were, but they compared him against several other people who I guess supposedly were going to be contenders for first place or leading numbers or something like that. So the one dude from Penn State beat three other dudes in the 40-yard dash, the vertical jump, and I think the standing broad jump or something like that. Three different things, and he came in first place on all of them. It was pretty freaky. Look that up. It's all over Facebook this morning and yesterday and stuff like that. It was pretty cool. The dude is an athlete, a serious athlete. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah. That I tell you, that stuff that's always impressive to me. Those explosive type things.
Yeah.
When people jump and and sprint real fast. There was a time when I at least considered myself fast. And seeing people really smoke it like that's amazing.
Yeah,
but especially when they're large dudes.
At least you had a time where you considered yourself fast. The only thing that I've been fast at have been things that you don't want to be fast in as a man. So
sure,
we don't need to go into any more details on that, but we'll go ahead and run down the details on the dynamometer. First place was Dan Fleming at 234 pounds. Second place, Justin Major, 230. Third, Eric Rusin, 206. Fourth, Nick Carignan, 197. Fifth, Andrew Dube, 194. Sixth, Matthew Charbonneau, 180. Seventh, Rob McMurrin, 179. Real close there, 180 and 179. Eighth, Mark Lucino, 172. Ninth, Gus Bush, 170. 10th, Philippe Tremblay, 162. 11th, Keith Stephenson, 150. 12th, Colin Dore, 139. 13th, Matt Smith, 129. 14th, Julie Lalonde, 111, and 15th, Natasha Batt, 107. Boom.
That was really back and forth. If you look at these event results, it's really back and forth between Natasha and Julie.
Yeah, it is. I was just thinking about that. Yeah. Yep.
Nice.
Next event was Little Bighorn, so that we just trained on this for our February contest. So I'm interested in seeing what everybody got, of course. And it looks like I may have edged out Dan Fleming on this. He got 187.39, and I got 187, I think, 0.49. So I beat him by 0.1 pounds, I think. I could be wrong.
There you go.
Yeah, but I got him on that one. Ha ha ha. And it looked like they were able to chalk that very, very well. We're not able to get the chalk on real well over here. So not even Chalk Whisperer Luke is able to get a good chalk coating.
That's funny you say that because I have two of them, and I've also noticed that chalk doesn't tend to stick to it. The only thing I get chalk on Iron Mine products, it seems like, is the hub.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, it's like it's got like some anti-chalk paint on it or something.
Well, I can get the pinch block chalked really good everywhere except for the spot where my thumb hits it. It's like the Fat Bastard Climber pinches from the Living Legends competition. That thing would just eat chalk. It was like absorbing chalk. I would drop chalk on the floor. It would roll towards the climber pinch. And pretty much the same thing happens. It's like a magnet, like a chalk magnet, everywhere except where the thumb is supposed to go. So I don't know what the deal is there, but it's kind of weird. Some more ties here on the Little Bighorn, Alan. You see that? Why don't you run down those numbers, bro?
All right. So Eric Rusin first, 198.41. Dan Fleming at second, 187.39. So that is a very solid lift.
Mm-hmm.
Then we had a three-way tie for third between Nick Kerrigan, Justin Major, and Rob McMurrin at 165.35. Two-way tie for sixth between Andrew Dube and Mark Lucina at 154.32. Three-way tie at eighth between Gus Bush, Matthew Charbonneau, and Keith Stephenson with 143.3. Two-way tie for 11th, Matt Smith and Philippe Tremblay, 132.28. Colin Doran 13th at 121.25. And tie for 14th with Natasha Batt and Julie Lalonde at 88.18 pounds.
So the battle continues with the two ladies at this point.
Yes. And again, those are, I think these are, in looking at the women's numbers here, these seem like very respectable numbers.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't have there wasn't a lot of women competitors, but nonetheless, those are, I would think that is some upper level at least polls on some of these events.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, now the favorite list here, tips tester. Jeez, man, that lift is just so hard on my fingers. I'm afraid to. I'm almost not afraid, but I'm like leery of it because it feels so bad on my fingers, man, bending like backwards like that.
I agree. I played with this not too long ago after one of the calls when I think it was just Ricardo and myself that were on, and we were talking about training some different things. And the tips tester always feels just really foreign in my hand.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I just can't figure out how to grip it. And I tried a way kind of Ricardo described, and it made it feel a lot better. But nonetheless, it was still just an odd thing for me. Not just a weird kind of lift. I just can't warm up to it.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't even remember what I pulled on it, actually. I think I've got that written down somewhere. I think I worked up to a 5-rep max or whatever it was that he kind of suggested. But yeah, it was just strange. It pulls on the fingers funny, and well, you're still bouncing back from your finger injury, and I had that same thing going on with my right ring and left middle finger. I kind of wound up jacking up those things a little bit that are just bouncing back. So I'm kind of squeamish around that sort of stuff right now.
Squeamish, yes. It's kind of like you don't want to jump right into it, especially around a max. Like let's say my max would be 300 pounds. If I stayed at like 275, I could probably rep that out all day with no problem. But once you get to that max effort level, it seems to change a little bit for some reason.
Right. Yep.
Shall I go down the numbers there, Alan?
Sure. Yep.
Okay, so first, Justin Major came back again. He must be like a new thick bar daddy on the block because he hit 326.22, and then Dan Fleming and Eric tied again, 311.47. For fourth place, Nick Kerrigan with 295.68. A two-way tie for fifth between Gus Bush and Rob McMurrin. I bet that was a fun ride home after they battled it out, 280.58 pounds. Three-way tie at seventh between Andrew Dube, Mark Lucina, and Keith Stephenson with 265.31 pounds, which is cool when I see 265 because that's the first three numbers of my phone number when I was a kid. So that's pretty cool. Guess that's not funny. Two-way tie for 10th between Matthew Charbonneau and Philippe Tremblay, the two with the most Frenchest last names, 249.74. 12th place, Colin Dore, 219.68. 13th was Matt Smith, 204.11. 14th, Julie Lalonde, 143.03. And 15th, Natasha Batt, 128.49. Do you remember your phone number as a kid, Alan? Some people forget it after a few years. They're not able to remember it.
Mine was 782-2991.
Hey, you don't give your phone number out like that, Alan. Somebody will end up tracking you down, brother.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people that were involved from back then aren't even alive anymore, so I'm not even too worried about it.
Okay, all right.
I should dial it. I should actually call it and see who has it now. That would be funny.
Going to have to look into the bleep sound on the call for controversial stuff like that, and people making mistakes, saying stuff they shouldn't be saying. Holy cow! There's got to be that effect for this. This is a very, very good service. Freeconferencecall.com. 30-item medley for the men. Alan, when's the last time you did a 30-item medley? Probably SJ4. Or something.
Yeah, I don't even know how many items he had at it, but that was the only medley I've ever competed in. So.
Oh, okay, all right.
But that's a boatload of items.
Well, Eric strolled through it like he was in the park, and like he was picking up litter or picking up dog poop with his dog. He went right through it, no problem. Didn't even look like he broke any sweat. He got 28 items for first place. Justin Major and Rob McMurrin tied for second place with 26 items. Fourth and fifth were Dan Fleming and Mark Lucino with 24 and 22 items respectively. Sixth place tie between Nick Carrigan and Andrew Dube with 21 items. Eighth place Gus Bush with 10 items. Ninth was Keith Stephenson with 9 items. 10th was Philippe Tremblay with 7 items. 11th was Matthew Charbonneau with 6 items. 12th was Colin Dore with 4 items, and then 13th was Matt Smith with 3 items. Then the women did a 20-item medley, and both women got 12 items, Natasha Batt and Julie Lalonde. And that's the results, dude. That wipes out the Canadian results for me, unless you saw anything else that they ended up doing.
No. That looked like about it.
Mm-hmm.
That's an impressive medley. I didn't catch all of what he had in there. I think I saw the inch dumbbell. I imagine he had some block weights and things like that. I didn't see everything. I didn't catch any footage of the women's medley. I would be interested in what kind of events and what kind of implements he was using for that.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't see that either. There could have been some videos that snuck by me last week because it's tax season for me, and I've been working on a lot of stuff and didn't spend as much time online, so could have worked its way past me.
You know, one thing I would like to also hear about Canadian nationals is how far away some of these people are traveling to get here. You know, we have kind of an idea about that for you know the U.S. nationals. You know, guys kind of coming from all over. I'm just curious some of the distance people are traveling to get here.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know enough about where everybody's from to really speak to that. But that's good. That's a good thing. I'd like to see what people have to say, how far they traveled. If they could put it in the comments section, that would be cool for sure. Now, we're supposed to cover the jersey contest too, Alan, but I actually should probably wrap up. So we might want to kick that back to either a bonus show or next week when we talk with Ricardo as well, if you don't mind. Just because
that's fine.
I'm gonna have to go, but there were a lot of big lifts that went down, in including an Ironman hub record from John McCarter, and we want to talk about that as well as everything else that took place. We want to give that contest the due time that it deserves. So why don't we plan on moving that back? All right, Alan. Was there anything else, any feats or anything else that you wanted to touch on over the course of the last week or so?
Just a couple of quick things. Just congratulations to Michael Thomas for his MM1 certification.
Yeah, man, fantastic. That's awesome.
Yep, and Arto Gironin just got added to the list for the 225 kilograms pinch. And
congratulations, Arto. And he sent me the video, and I didn't put it up, so I apologize. But I believe it was John McCarter that ended up doing it. So thank you, John.
Yep. And then a quick little Ironman news. I'll leave John McCarter out of it for right now, but congratulations to him on his world record. We'll get to the specifics later. But there was a young man named Katsuya Kawasaki that just certed the number 3, 18 years old. So another teenager, just credit card certed the number 3. And this is a healthy sized 18-year-old dude's 5'9.5" and 234 pounds. So this guy's he's a tank.
Wow. Sick. Spark plug, dude.
So So good for him. I tell you, you're smashing that thing when you're 18. A few years down the line, we'll see what this guy's able to do. You know?
Dude, at 18, I was spending so much time on a baseball field. There's no way I could have worked the grippers in. So that's cool that they found. I think it's awesome that youngsters like that, and even younger than 18, you hear people, talking about wanting to close the number 3 and stuff like that. That's awesome that they're being exposed to it, because I'm sure they were out, because wasn't like Richard Soren certified in 1991, right?
I think so, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, so it was out there, but I never learned about it till much later. So I think it's really cool.
Well, yeah, me too, especially, because you don't build that kind of strength working the PlayStation over every day, like what you see a lot of modern youth doing. So
yeah.
It's real exciting for me too.
Yeah.
So not enough activity like it used to be.
Right, for sure. Hey, there was a question put up a couple weeks ago on episode 43. It was the review of hands-on grip games, and towards the end of that show, this was a comment from Gripping for Jesus, Joe Sullivan, and he said, "Oofta. Is Alan Norwegian? Ha ha, I know that term," and he put the timestamp of 10304. So why don't you, since you're giving everybody your home phone number from when you were a kid, why don't you tell us what the heck's going on here, bro?
Yeah, I actually replied to him. I don't recall saying that. It's probably something that just flies out of my mouth effortlessly.
You did say it. I was like, what the heck is he talking about? And I went back and because he put the timestamp, it made it easy. So I was there, and sure enough, man, you dropped it. You dropped it. Oops.
That's funny. That's funny. Yeah, no, I guess I have a large portion of me would be Norwegian. Got some German. I don't know, a bunch of other. I guess I'm kind of a mutt like most other people would be.
Right.
But no, I remarked to him about I don't know, something about Lefse. But yeah, there's a percentage of me that's Norwegian. We got a lot of that up here actually. Norwegian heritage in the area where I.
Well, you going to tell us what the heck it means, or are you just going to leave us in suspense, Alan? Come on now.
Actually, I don't even know that I can explain the meaning of that, to tell you the truth. That's just, I don't know. It's like something I just throw out there whenever something like exciting happens, or I don't know, painful would happen.
You know what's interesting about that, Alan? You want to know what? So you know I speak Spanish, right? We've talked about this. Okay. So I've got a little bit of linguist in me, at least linguist interest. Okay. And I keep track of stuff. I keep my finger on the pulse of stuff like this. So in Spanish, when someone says something like, "Man, I just dropped a concrete block on my toe," they might say, "Oof, I hope you're all right." And I heard Batter and those guys saying it as well. If someone made a big statement, they'd be like, "Oof," and their eyes would get all big. Now, I've never heard anyone say this in English, and as far as I know, they might say "ooh" or something like that. But isn't it funny that Spanish, Norwegian, and also in what does Batter speak? What's his language? Arabic.
I don't even know.
Arabic. I couldn't. It wouldn't pop out there. All of them have like the same variant of that word. Isn't that cool?
It is, actually. Yeah. Yep.
So, I mean, again, maybe that wasn't funny, but I thought that was interesting myself.
No, that is interesting, that connection there. Yeah.
And I want to thank everybody for reminding me from that show that Big John Stud Stepien, yes, did take a crack at 500. I believe you had asked during that show if anyone took a crack at 500, Alan?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So he went for 501, I'm told, and just about got it to the stick or something, and it ripped out. So.
Well, nice.
Yeah,
so you got some air under it.
Yeah, there's all kinds of replies here that I didn't see before, and it's freaking hilarious. So, again, Joe Sullivan says, "Didn't Big John Stud give a crack at 500 and he dropped it? I thought he attempted 500 and got it up and it slipped out of his left hand, no?" And then John Stepien says, "And you wonder why I'm the most hated man in grip." So Joe goes, "Not by me, Big John Stud. I'm sure it just slipped Napalm's mind." John goes, nope, I quit grip training. I'm done. And then Sullivan goes, John, good for you keeping it kayfabe, which you probably don't know what that means, right?
I don't know.
Okay, that's like that's a word they would use like if a good guy and a bad guy were caught talking like in a locker room or something, and some like normal citizens came down. They would say kayfabe, kayfabe, and then they would instantly start like arguing or punching one another or something like that. It was like a word used to protect the supposed legitimacy of the business.
Ah, I see. Okay.
Yeah. It doesn't really. It's not like it's not a word that necessarily means anything. Like, I guess you could look at it and say it kind of sounds like Pig Latin for fake. Kayfabe. Sure. It's kind of like it sounds like it, but as far as I know, it's not like that. It's just that that's just the only thing that I know about it. So, but yeah. Keeping kayfabe is like protecting the business and making it seem legit. So
sure.
Much like another term that would apply to this show is no selling. Have we talked about no selling before, Alan?
No selling. No, I don't think that's come up.
Okay, so no selling is basically pretending something didn't happen. So let's say the good guy in a wrestling match is supposed to have like this spectacular balance, and he wants to go off the top rope and drop an elbow on somebody, but he slips and like crotches himself. And obviously, if you slip and fall on the ropes and crotch yourself, it's going to hurt like a bastard. But because he's a good guy and he's supposed to have such good balance, he'll just no-sell it and act like it didn't happen. And basically, that's what you've been doing for the last 6 months with this shoulder injury, totally no-selling it, talking about injuries left and right, and you don't say anything. It's just crickets chirping on your end of the phone.
So. Well, I've been hoping my issue would just kind of disappear.
Right.
But no luck for me. Yeah. I've never been fortunate in that area. So,
yeah. Well, certainly wish you the best with it. My hat's off to Eric on his win of overall win of nationals, and Dan for his win in the 83 kilo class. And if he ever comes down to one of my contests, I'm sure that I will find some manner of trickery to hurt his chances of winning. So that's going out to Dan. Eric, I'll keep it legit for Eric. But for Dan, I might have to have him stand on a skateboard or put toothpaste on the thick bar handle or something like that when he tries to lift it. So, all right. Well, Alan, I got to run, but thank you once again for an excellent call. And everybody, please make sure that you like and comment on the video here on YouTube. Follow us at
Gripsport IG
on Instagram, and like and comment there on the post associated with episode 46, and you can be in the drawing for winning free supplements from Muscle Farm. Muscle Farm, thanks a lot for your sponsorship, and we'll be talking to you soon. Take it away, Alan.
All right. Well, that's it for episode 46 of This Week in Grip. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe, everybody. And we'll be back next week with a recap of what went down in South Jersey and the new world records. We'll talk to you then.